walk that walk, I can talk that talk. Give me minds off top. Check the clock.
Let's go. My name is Monica with Football is Sexy, and I'm so excited. We got my girl, Heather Vassar, in the house, a music industry powerhouse at the forefront of music, working with Shaboozey, people like, I don't know, Dolly Parton, Skylar Grey, Chris Stapleton, Kacey Musgraves, George Strait, Carrie Underwood, and it goes on and on and on. And now she's starting her new company, which I can't wait to talk about. Everybody, let's give it up for Heather Vassar.
Thank you.
What is happening? And we insert all the claps. Oh my God. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk life, music, football, all the things with you.
Yeah.
But before we even get to all that, tell me a little bit about you. Heather, you have, your career, for being so young especially,
Thank you.
is off. Yeah.
I don't know about that. Every
No,
day,
you're so young.
Every day I'm like, oh man, how long can I keep going?
Oh,
But
no.
it feels also at the same time only like just at the beginning. So I keep trying to remind myself of that, of like,
I feel like that for
but
you.
I feel super lucky just because of like, fuck. I was on Do Not Disturb, sorry.
Oh, good.
You want to run it?
No, we'll keep going.
I feel super lucky just because of having the career that I've had, but I'm born and raised in such a small West Texas town. Been one of the few of my family to ever leave Texas, and I thought, what am I gonna do? And I was an athlete all growing up, and that's what I thought I would do. Went to college and played ball, and then that life took a turn even there doing that, and that's where I found my love of music and started in on playing and writing. And so then I was just like, wide-eyed and had no clue what the music industry was. And moved as a songwriter and an artist and took my hand at that for a few years. And I thought, oh man, I don't know who makes money in this business, but it is not me. And I was not making any money in that world. And I didn't know that there was I didn't know the music business. And so when I got to Nashville, I was a big fish in a small pond in West Texas. And then I got to Nashville and I was like, oh shit, these people are really good.
Yeah.
And I'm not anywhere close. And so, yeah, I was like, I don't know. And the artist thing I never wanted to be sort of on stage. But I just love music and I loved writing. And so, even when I was growing up and I'm like writing songs and, my family was like, you have to sing them. And I'm like, I can't really sing,
right.
I'm not a singer. I'm not that. And,
right.
So by the time I got to Nashville and I was like, I don't know who makes money in this business, but it's not me, but I need to figure out a way that I can make money in this business.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's how I ended up on the label side and on the business side. Just starting on that side and in that world that I found my footing, that I was like, okay, this is what I'm great at. This is what I can do.
Right.
So,
well, I love how she just took us all the way too, but I want to go back a little bit because an athlete, I think I talk about this a lot, being an athlete. I really am a big advocate for sports. I believe it really helps you in life. How to celebrate your wins, how to work hard for something, how to deal with other teammates,
Absolutely.
how to deal with coaches. There's just so many life lessons around sports. And she didn't say it, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. She was a badass softball player, right?
Yeah, I was a catcher, played at Texas Tech my freshman year. I caught my whole life. I started when I was 4.
What?
I
4?
I was 4 years old. I have an older sister and we're 13, 14 months apart. And so I played up on her team, which I use this. It's funny you say that because I use sports analogies in music all the time. They're such parallel.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like when I start talking to an artist or sign an artist, I can always tell those that were athletes.
Yeah.
There's a different accountability, a different discipline.
Yep.
And maybe probably because I recognize it so deeply.
Motivation.
But yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And so and there's a different just like teamwork ability there and communication style. And so it's probably because I recognize it that it's so attractive to me in an artist.
Right.
But yeah, I started playing I played every, being from such a small town, I played volleyball, basketball, softball. I threw shot put and discus in track all the way there. I did, of course, there's,
okay.
not many of us. And so.
But you never played flag football? That wasn't a thing back then?
Yeah, it wasn't
really?
it wasn't a thing. And so not for the girls at
Okay.
least.
I
So
played a little flag football. That's why
Okay.
I'm so excited to have you here because we have so much in common. Because I
Yeah.
played all the sports, hated volleyball. I was not good at volleyball, and I don't like playing shit that I'm not
I didn't
good
like the
at.
spandex. I legit probably quit because of the spandex.
Oh,
And
are you serious? Right?
You know?
Yeah. No. This right here, the forearm. It just no.
It hurt too bad.
It hurt. It
Yeah.
hurt. And then I can't spike, and that was frustrating. I couldn't.
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean, I
too
have-
short for that. I'm like, this is not fun. I'm not gonna just sit here and set all day.
You would have been a great like specialist or even setter because you're like
Probably.
you look very agile.
Yeah.
But I could serve, right? And so same
Okay.
same throwing arm, same serving arm. Like I could
Gotcha.
really serve, but I can't jump or run fast to
Well,
save
and
my life.
I broke my leg sliding into third base. That was the end of my softball career.
Oh man.
No. I broke it. Yeah, third base. It was not good. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I played, since I was young, and I always played up, that's again something that I use with even artists, and so I've been able to take what I know of the sports world and
Bring it.
bring it in, and so because I always played up, because I played on my sister's team, just so probably to keep the sanity of my parents,
Right.
and that was so valuable because I'm a big proponent of you play to the level that you like want to be at, not at the level that you are.
Right.
And especially as artists. So I translate that to them as like whatever stage you want to be at, if you want to be singing in arenas and if you want to be singing, name a venue. When you're playing these hole in the wall bars, when you're like playing these rider rounds, things like that, you need to show up like you're playing at that arena. You need to show
100%.
up. And because you have to prove that you're there,
Yeah.
right? You have to prove that you should be at that level. And so, and not just playing to the two people probably in front of you at the beginning of a career, that's in a hole in the wall bar. And
Right.
so for me, it's like, that's what I did all of growing up. I was just fortunate enough. It really wasn't my decision, but I just played up and that made me better.
Right.
Because I think it either makes you better or you end up quitting because
One of the
you
two.
don't rise to the occasion. But for
Yeah.
me, it was like, it just made me better.
Right.
And yeah, I started catching when I was 4 or 5 and
That's crazy.
my parents couldn't get me out of the gear. And I genuinely thought that that's what,
And the
my life would
catcher
be.
position is not for the weak. That's how you ended up.
I didn't know.
That's how
I
you
didn't-
ended up in the music business because
Sure. No,
being in the
100
music business is not for the weak. It prepared you, girl.
Yeah, no, 100%. I had no idea.
I
But
tried it one time and I was like, oh no, this bat is way too close to my face.
oh,
Like there's
no,
no,
I mean, my parents would have to, like, we'd have like 8-game guarantees, and they were like, you can't catch 8 games in a row, and I'd be like, yes, I can. Watch
Wow.
me, you know.
See, and this is all getting to
I know that
your
persistence
the
and
pers- yes.
perseverance.
I love it. And so being that you came from Texas,
Mhm.
were you a fan of the Cowboys?
Of course,
Okay.
of course.
I mean, I don't want to ever assume, but
Yeah, I mean, it was the only team that I knew of,
Yeah.
like there was nothing else, that was even an opportunity to even discuss in my house. And so it was like, we are Dallas Cowboy fans.
that's
and
it.
That's
Did
it.
you get to go to the games growing up or watch them on TV or?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we watched them all the time. Again, I mean, because I come from a sports family, we watched every game on TV, and would go to like friends, and it was obviously even really big of then once you get high school and
Because what year were you kind of like? For me, my early years was like the days of Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. What was like
mine
your
is
era?
Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith.
Okay.
Like, oh yeah. I
Okay.
had like one of my best friends in like, junior high. Like she came back with a signed Troy Aikman and Emmett Smith football, and she gifted it to
Oh,
me,
I
and
love
I still have it. It's just
Right.
like, oh my, there was nothing better, and I just felt like it was over the moon.
I
you
love
know?
it. See how Dallas Cowboy fans and 49er fans can get along. I'm just throwing it out there. And we talked
It's
about that
true.
right off the top. I was like, okay, I'm good. You're good. Okay,
Yeah,
then we're
yeah,
good.
yeah.
You gotta love it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hold so tightly to the fandom on the Cowboy side. Just leaving Texas, and obviously, I have a love of being in Nashville for a lot. So I
Yes.
support my Titans and
Yes.
go. And then for me, sports has changed where. Like I feel fortunate enough to meet amazing people that are tied to organizations. And so then I become naturally a fan because you learn more about the organization, just the people behind it and players. And so it's like, I'm a big 49ers fan, as you know.
You
So,
heard it here, baby.
you
Let's
know.
go. And as you know, because we're gonna talk about, how we met.
Sure.
Shout out to Shelly.
Coach Shelly.
Who was your leadership coach.
Yeah.
Executive leadership coach. And because of you, and I was like, okay, I see how they're moving. You are what you hang around.
That's right.
You know? And
Massive.
I'm a big believer in that. And so I've been fortunate enough to know Shelly for a while. And that's how we met. And I just love what's happening organically. And the women supporting women, you know, and then Annie Bosco's into the fold now. And we're talking, music and sports. Like literally without even planning it, I know, like, you can tell me, but I'm living my dream.
Yeah.
Is sports and music.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
And
like, what else
what
do
more
you
do you
need
want?
Yeah,
what else
else
do you
is
need,
there? What
right?
else is
Sports
there?
and music.
You know? So, yeah, I agree.
So let's go back a little bit. You were a songwriter. So was I. Again, here we are. Another thing that we have in common is I was also a songwriter. I didn't never pick up an instrument, but I was all about the lyrics. And my mentors.
We would make a great team, so you know, because I started with instruments. And I was like, what do I do with these? Because I play by ear. And so I picked up guitar, I picked up piano, and my family was like, how do you know how to play the piano? And I'm like, I don't know. I just would play a song. And so, but I could play other people's songs, but then when I would make up my own, then I didn't have lyrics.
See?
So we would have made a great team.
Maybe there's some hits among us.
I mean,
I don't know.
I believe it.
I
believe
saying.
it. There's still time.
And it's so funny because I play a hell of an air guitar and air drums. I just need you to know, like, I'm badass on the air drums.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. But I always was the words person, right? And being that I was a diehard Prince fan from 7th grade, my mentors that they don't know, but like who I looked up to lyrically was Prince, Bernie Taupin, and Diane Warren.
Amazing.
Those were my three, like, and to me, they just told the story the way I wanted to, very visual, all the things. But when did you, because I know for me, when did you realize that like I remember when I was graduating high school, everybody's like going to college. And I was like, that wasn't calling my name. And I literally remember thinking, I'm either going to go into music or sports. And I was like, I can't make any money at sports as a woman. This is back, I'm not going to tell you what year, but maybe 1987, not sure. And I'm like, so that put me into music. Yeah. Where I at least had a shot. You know what I mean?
Sure.
There was no shot back. There was no WNBA. It wasn't going to happen. So I went into music just like that. When was your moment when you realized that you were going to kind of go the route you went?
I mean, we have a very similar probably path in that because so when I went to Texas Tech and started playing softball there, and if this will tell you everything you need to know about me, but that was the year they took softball out of the Olympics. And so for me, I thought, well, that was sort of peak because in softball, yes, they're like you can't really make money as a professional softball player at the time, for sure.
Right.
And even now, it's not probably much of anything. I'm not, but so my freshman year is when they took it out of the Olympics. And so I thought that was sort of the goal. Yeah. I would go to all of the Olympic like training team, like programs and summer, whatever, and so I was doing all of that with the aspiration that I'm going to be in the Olympics. That was the goal. Right. When they took it out, I thought, well, now what? Right. And it was because USA was so good, right? They were just beyond talented. And I was playing against some of those girls in high school and
I need to see
college.
some footage. I need to see some pictures.
Oh, there's some press out there. There's some press.
Okay.
But so when that happened, I thought, man, like this, and I was getting really tired of 4 a.m. workouts and 2-a-days and doing school. And I just thought, like, I don't know. And at the same, it was interesting because I can look back now and at the same time, my love of music was really growing. I was in a band in college and, I was playing a lot. And
who was your go-to in the mine was Prince. Who was like your
It's funny. I mean, I grew up in a very like conservative Christian, so I started in Christian music.
Okay.
And so I grew up, but at the same time, like my dad loves like Chicago and like the like rock side
Right.
and Boston, and then my mom
Love
loves
some
like the
Boston.
Judds.
More than a feeling, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like, and of course George Strait, right?
Oh,
like
God,
King,
right.
right?
King,
I was just
King
like
George.
iconic
Yeah.
King, and so I grew up on George and the Judds and then in like Christian music, and so I make a joke now that I'm not much of a movie watcher, but I've seen all the westerns and all the faith-based films, so I got you on that.
Okay.
But yeah, so those were sort of. And I naturally fell into country music that way. I wasn't writing it. I was writing Christian music at the time.
Okay.
And that ended up even being a little bit more of a, like, because I did Christian music when I moved to Nashville. So I'll back up. So I once I quit playing softball at Tech, I was only taking, the minimum number of hours at school. And so I had to fill my time with something. And so I started taking music classes at a smaller junior college and got all of those as approved as electives. And I took fiddle lessons and piano lessons, and I can't play fiddle.
I was going to say, wait, give me a fiddle right now.
I cannot. That's the one that
I love a good fiddle.
It's the most frustrating instrument for me because I play by ear.
Okay.
That I don't have like the skill set.
Right.
And fiddle, like you cannot, it's either incredibly sounding or dying cow. Like there's like no in between. Yeah, there's no in between. Like guitar, you can fudge the chords, and same piano. Like you can hit, and you can sort of.
That's so funny.
Yeah, you can like, navigate around it. Violin and fiddle is not that way. The precision is like so key, and that was not me. And so, but yeah, I was in a band and like I said, took so many lessons. I even took vocal lessons and songwriting classes and even music business classes. And I thought, okay, like now I understand. And so it was sort of the same thing. I can't make money on the sports side,
right?
Even though I love that, and it's so just innate in me. Yeah. And but I thought maybe I'll try my hand in music, and just naturally fell into it and met a producer and moved out to Nashville and sort of left. I never left like sports behind. I always did intramurals. Right. It's always very much, a part of who I am. But as far as, building a career and making a living, it just wasn't on the sports side, sadly, at the time.
So now you're in Nashville, and I love all of that. I mean, your journey, it's all making sense.
Sure.
It really is making sense. So now you're in Nashville, and I got to ask, because it's Shaboozey.
Yeah.
How did that, and I'm sure you've said this 1,000 times, but you're going to say 1,001 times.
That's all right. I'll say it. I'll say it again and again. Yeah.
Let's go, because it's something you should be so incredibly proud of. Yeah. When was the first time you saw him or heard his name?
So interestingly enough, I was at Universal Nashville on the label side, and I left at the end of 2019 to help start the Nashville division of Empire. They were known as a like hip hop distribution company at the time.
I remember, actually.
And there were mentors and people in my career that they were like, call me when that fails, because like, a hip hop distribution company in Nashville is like
unheard of. Yeah.
And that was the end of 2019, and then COVID hit, obviously. And I ended up flying out in 2020 out here to LA, and met him. I'd been sent his music.
Someone sent you his music.
So I'd been sent his producer had sent a SoundCloud link of his music.
I'm sorry. Back in my day, you got a tape. Okay. Yeah. You got a tape.
Now we get a SoundCloud.
I was an artist, by the way.
That's amazing.
We're gonna talk about it. You'll laugh. I might play you one of my archive songs, but anyway. So
I will not be playing any of my archive songs.
No, it's hilarious because now it's pretty bad. But I only say that because I'm like, okay, so you gotta like, it just changed so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone sent you his music.
Yep.
What was your first thought when you heard it? Anything? You're just like,
No, I immediately you hear it and you're just like, wow, this is
interesting.
Very interesting.
Right.
This is like cool, and I have no idea what to do with this.
Right.
Which for me, I'll accept it. That's all you have to tell me is like have me accept a challenge, and I'll try and figure it out.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was like, this is really cool. There were some really cool lyrics in it, and I just thought, I don't know what in the world to do with this, but like. God. it's cool.
Yeah.
And let me, and I didn't know, I didn't know what he would look like. I didn't know anything. It was just, you hear it and you're just like, this is really cool. I need to meet this person. So I flew out to LA and met at the London West Hollywood lobby. And of course it was deserted because of, in the time that it was. And, him and his manager at the time and one of his other, like his creative director essentially, we hung out for hours and
Okay,
just
but were you
talked.
shocked? How tall is he?
So tall.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm not
he
crazy.
walks-
he just
no,
looks tall.
he's 6'5". So he
Oh,
walks in and he's just a presence.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And
I've never met him or
it
seen
doesn't
him, by the way.
matter.
But
Any room that he walks in, like he takes over the room in the best way. And
Right.
so, yes, very tall and, in his Wranglers and,
I love
is like
such a vibe.
small t-shirts and yeah, it was just like, I was like, it was like, I don't know that I know what to do with this, but this is cool.
Yeah.
And like, let's figure this out.
Right.
And so, I was signing a lot of artists at the time. And so, like adding him to the roster was amazing.
Huge.
It was, I wish I had the foresight that I
you have now?
that I have now, but hindsight's always 2020. But yeah, I just feel super lucky and super fortunate that, he went with us and we were able to sort of start getting to work. And so it was, because it was so early, he had been in the business a while. He was signed to a label before. And so there's a lot of, navigating when you're signed to a different label and moving over. And then at the same time, he had never really done country music before. And so it was a lot of trying to figure out, okay, how do we bridge the gap from where you've been to where you want to go and what this world looks like?
Mm-hmm.
He was the first artist that I had ever sat with. When he walked up, I got handed a movie script that he had written.
Oh, wow.
Of the world that he wanted to build. And I was like, I work at a label.
Right,
like,
right.
I was like, I don't know what you want me to do with this.
What was it? Scorsese?
Yeah.
Let me call him right now.
Yeah, I was just like, okay. Yeah, I was like, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And so, but he was the first artist I had ever worked with that talked about world building.
Mm.
And for me, that it was fascinating. It's like, this is what I want the world to feel like, sound like. And so, and fans experience that. I was like, I'm like, this I want to be a part of and help build into that world.
Right.
Because it was where he had been, like, just musicality wise, to then where he wanted to go. We had to sort of bridge the gap of songs and albums and content. So, even the first song that we dropped, it was called Beverly Hills, but then the next one, right, we shot in a saloon. So sort of like balancing both worlds of hip hop and country and where he had been. And so, it was fascinating and just, also just such a grind. I mean,
right.
we were all in such a grind for several years to build into what he is now, which is amazing.
A badass powerhouse.
Yeah.
How did the bar song Tipsy, how did that come to be?
Yeah, so
when was the first time you heard it? Were you tell me a little bit about that.
So I was actually in LA for the Grammys the first time that I heard it, and the album had been done, right? And then
it's never done.
It's never
right,
done.
yeah.
And he went back in for sort of a last ride of like, can I beat any
of the songs
that we have on the project? And he tells this story better than I do, so I'm not trying to speak for him. But he had this idea of this interpolation of this flip. And initially, I think he had it on a different song, and then when he got in the studio and in the room, he started with obviously Tipsy, and yeah, so the song sort of came to be, and I had just happened to be here, and mind you, we were already rolling out songs the October before for the album. We were already in release cycle, and so I get here for the Grammys, and they play it for me through a phone, just in the car. We're driving from meeting to meeting.
I love it. And
they were like, okay, you got to hear this one. But it was all under kind of the notion of like, will country music play this song?
Okay.
So that's how it's sort of like, you've got to hear this one, and will they play it? Can we take this one to country radio?
Right. And
they play it, and it wasn't mixed. It wasn't, it
raw.
Was, yeah, it wasn't final by any means. And I was just like, man, like, to answer your question, I have no idea if country radio will play this. I said, we're probably going to have to like get them to play it.
Right.
But they would be foolish not to. Like, this should absolutely be the focus. This is, you know, again, you hear it once, and then when you're singing it the rest of the day, it's sort of your tell.
Right.
You know, when you're
if
humming
it's stuck in your head, it's stuck in my head. I've been listening to it since it came out.
Of course.
And
you and everybody
that song never gets old.
Yeah.
Like, that song literally never, there's only a few that I think never get old, and that's one of them. And I'm not just saying that because you hear it, like, that's real.
You hear it, like, you know, I'll hear it, like, I'll be in the mall or something, or I'll be, you know, somewhere in the airport,
right? And
then you hear it, and you're like, oh yeah, this is still. And
I'm sober, and I still love this shit. I'm just saying, even my sober people be dancing to it. Let's go.
Yeah, because it's just a good vibe.
Yeah.
It's such a fun, you know, and it just makes you feel good, which is what most people want, you know, and so it like pulls at your emotions in such a great way. And it was so timely just because of the nostalgia of, you know, we lean back into the 90s and we love how you know, those songs sound, and you know, I feel like I'm at the age now that it's just like I pull back from, you know, wanting those records and want that sound.
I remember back then this would have been a B-side, and then it would have turned into like this amazing thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So many songs, just everybody knows I'm a diehard Prince fan. Many of his big hits started off as B-sides at last minute. Those are the last minute songs. So to me, it's like kind of like his B-side, but in the, you know, 2025 version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's crazy. So I just got to ask you, like, so you took him, you signed him, now he's blowing up.
Yeah.
Give me the moment where you might have had when, because I've gone through this myself, where you're just like, you hear it, you're by yourself, and maybe you get a little emotional. You're just like, wow, I had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Did you have a moment like that where you're just like, wow? Because we go so hard.
Yes.
You work so hard. Sometimes we don't appreciate what we're building.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And it took me a minute, because when you have something to prove and when you're trying to prove something at the same time and also build, right? Because it's like this, you also don't want to drop the ball at the one.
Right.
You know?
No, you don't. That's such a good analogy. And no one did it this week, but they did it last week.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like, how did you do that again?
And so for me, the pressure became even more intense, because then it was, you know,
carry it through.
Yeah, you got to carry it through. And so I would be, you know, on the calls and figuring out plans and what's next, and you know, even the strategy behind it and what's the content. And there's, you know, so much goes into it. And I was like head down, all gas, like with my team, and I'm just like, don't let up, like, do not let up, because, you know, then the milestones and the goals change, right? When you're like, okay, this is hot, and oh, we want a Billboard Hot 100, right? And so, and there was a time that we were like, are we going to get it? Are we not? Because there was a lot of big releases that year,
right?
And around that time, because then it was before summer releases, so there was a lot of heavy hitters coming. That again, even for a country record, so country music prior to last year was about 6 to 8% of all listening, right? So it's not a lot of listenership. So when you get it, it's sort of like you've got to hold on to it and do everything you can to ride it. And so I didn't take that moment initially,
right?
Because then it was like,
something next.
So grateful, fielding opportunities and performances, and you know, it's sort of like exactly what you work for, and then the work starts. You know, it's sort of like I tell artists, and it's probably no different than athletes. Once you get signed to a team and once you sign to a label, that's actually when the work starts.
Right.
It's not all the work that you've done before. That was just practice.
Yeah.
Right. And so then that became of like, oh, now we're in the game.
Right.
And then it's like, well, you don't let up when you're in the game. It's like, no, that's when you give it all you've got. So yes, to answer your question, did I take a moment? I was super lucky that, in fact, it's, and I'll even say his name because I was so grateful for that conversation, but Copeland, he's at YouTube, and he pulled me aside and he was like, I just want to make sure that you are taking this in. Like, I just want to make sure that you are, like, that you realize what you've done and what you've been able to be a part of, and that you're enjoying it, because my schedule was never busier. I was never on a plane more. I was never in more meetings, and I was never getting so much at me at the same time, because I, then it was sort of like we proved what we could do. And then every artist wants that on the other side of that.
Right.
So then I'm getting pitched even more artists.
Oh,
and so
good.
just the influx of conversation, and the influx of not only artists, but teams, and it just became so overwhelming too on that side, that I was so grateful that I just happened to run into him, wasn't even in a meeting. And he was just like, I just want to make sure that you are like soaking this in.
I love that.
And I thought, and in that moment I wasn't.
Right.
And so then
like,
I was like, I probably should enjoy this, and so then my perspective shifted like in that moment, where I tried to be very mindful and just grateful, honestly, of just like, okay, I don't know that I'll ever get to be a part of a song that big or that special again in my career. Mm-hmm. The odds are very low,
right.
if at all, because there's very few people that actually get to experience that.
Yeah.
And so to be grateful in that, and to also ride that wave and capitalize on it as much as we all could, and it just there was a different intention behind the like sort of than my approach to everything else after that.
Right. And it's so true. And for people that like they're just listeners, like they don't know what goes on. I mean, back in my day, I mean, I can't even imagine what it is now, but even back in the day, like you would get signed, and some labels would sign you just to shelf you because they don't want you to compete with the nut. Like, so I'm just saying, when you say odds, dealing through politics, dealing through the grind, there's millions of songs, and for it to get to that level is, I'm sorry, I'm going to give it to her right now. I know how hard that was. So I'm going to give you your moment right now.
Thank you.
That is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And I always try to cuss at least once, and
Fuck
there
yeah.
it is. Fuck yeah.
Fuck
That
yeah,
was
we'll
a
do
fuck yeah. It was amazing.
I mean, if there's a moment that deserves that, it's that.
It is that.
So.
It is that. And so I've been around music a lot, and I've not to anywhere where you were, but like, got to hang out with Prince and Rick James and all the things. And when people knew I was doing that, I would even get, and I'm like, oh, I am not, like, that's not all that to say, a lot of people ask me, and I'm going to ask you, it's so different today. Mm-hmm. TikTok, digital, all the things. I know right now, I could name 5 amazing artists that I think are great. What advice would you give them in today's world? Somebody young, somebody not young. What would be like one big thing that you could give somebody who's maybe listening to this that wants to be a Shaboozey, that wants to be on the radio?
Yeah, it's funny, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on Football is Sexy podcast, because it really does go back to an athlete mentality. And so, but for me, it is, and I tell artists this on the daily. And so for all the artists that have ever heard me say this, I'm sorry that you get to hear me say it again, but it's especially because of the algorithms, because of TikTok, because of Spotify, like we're up against algorithms. And so it really is consistency. And it's making like great records and being consistent in that. And so I tend to tie it, it's the consistency and cadence of the content, right? And that goes back to song content, lyric content, get to know you content. So it really is as consistent as you can stay as an artist. And for me, that's practice, right? Like that's two-a-days.
Consistent posting, consistent
releasing, just as consistent as you could be as an artist, and posting and releasing music and making art. Do that, right? Because that will naturally build and tell your story and what you want to know and say, that is so important. And to get your art out there and to start building fans, right? Because it used to be that you would like make a record and the label would send you out on the road, and then they would do X, Y, and Z on a marketing plan. And artists have never had this much accessibility, direct accessibility to fans. However, they've also never had this much responsibility.
Right. So
much is on their shoulders, because, and I tell artists, it's not my face and my name that is making this content. Right. I wish that I could.
Yeah.
AI is changing a lot of this, so that's a whole nother topic
my
that,
God.
but it isn't like it requires so much of the artist where they're in front of camera, they're in front of the fans. And so I tell them, don't look at these platforms as social media. This is you right in front of your fans. Entertain them.
Right.
This is entertainment.
Right.
How are you entertaining them on each platform? And also driving back to the music, driving back to something you created that you want the world to hear and know and see. And it really is just being so consistent in that and just continuing, because it's probably the most toxic relationship with that you'll ever have is with social media, because it rewards, but then it
can take it back.
It can
it's
take
the
it back
instant
immediately.
gratification.
Yeah.
And even for our platform, and most people have one platform way bigger than the other platforms, right? Because you've dialed in that, and now you're like, oh, okay, let me go do this, and you're like, oh my God, this is not working out the way that one worked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's very difficult, and you can have one reel that just takes off, and the next one gets like 20 views. You're like, what is happening right now?
And it's just as good. I think with artists forget, because they're creatives, they're creative beings, right? And so they forget, they're like, oh, that wasn't good content. And it could be something as simple as just the timing.
Yeah.
It could be just even
I've learned
just the algorithm, because we're up against a machine.
Yeah.
And so
don't take it personal.
That's right. And don't take it, because that content that got 20 views, you could post that in a week and it could get 20 million. 100%. And it has nothing to do with actually it's not bad content. And so that's the consistency side. It's like when you have those 10 that flop or that don't get views, and you're just like,
Yeah.
And so I teach, like, I'm not precious with content with artists. I'm like, put it out there. Like, put it out there, because we're in swipe culture and it comes and goes.
Right.
And a lot of times artists look at social media platforms as very linear. And it's just not. There's very few that are, majority of those that are watching TikTok is without sound. And also they're not going to your actual profile and scrolling that.
Right.
So it's not linear. It's very spherical in that, where it's like you'll hit a FYP page in a very different way than you'll hit somebody else's. Right. It just depends on, and it's all individual algorithms. So there is a strategy behind that, which is what I feel like I am so thankful that that's sort of, that's what's made me really successful in my job, is because I understand that. But it's also being able to articulate that to the artists, that they're like, I just want my song heard. And I'm like, I do understand that.
Just work with me. By the way, you want to know what my biggest, when I started Football is Sexy, the first reel that went viral that got me on the map, you're going to laugh. And I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't even on Facebook. Like, what I've learned, like, I didn't know anything. And I just got on Instagram, and I was at the gym, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to post this. And I posted it. I didn't even know, honestly, I didn't even know how to post. I posted it right before, I was literally like doing leg day. And I was like, fuck it, let's just post this. Horrible.
Leg day.
I was already pissed. Not again. I hate leg day. I hate leg day so much.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there doing my little curls.
Yeah.
And my phone, I hear it go, brant, brant, like it was going right now. I apologize. Like, what is going on? Blah, blah. It was just like buzzing, and it was nonstop. And I was like, what the hell's going on? So I checked it, and it's
taken off.
The video I put up is going crazy. And I'm like, and I was like thinking my phone's broke.
You're like, this one?
What is happening?
You're like, why this
and
one?
You know what video it was?
What?
It was me wearing my Niner hat walking into the Dallas Cowboy training camp. I know. Look
at that full circle. You brought it back.
Right, I brought it back. Do you like that?
I love
Look
it. I love it.
I'm
professional.
A host. I'm a professional.
You're a professional.
Look out, Kelly. I got you. Yeah, but isn't that wild? And it put me on the map. And, I probably wouldn't do that today. But it, that kind of content.
You never know.
Only because one day the Cowboys will have me on their field, because I love football and I love passion. I'm just saying.
Maybe I can make that happen. We'll see.
That would be awesome. I'm getting pushback, because I've heard. Because even though I'm Football is Sexy and I'm doing all this stuff for women and football and stuff, but some teams don't want me there because I find that absolutely crazy. And I will break down that wall.
Yeah.
There'll be a team that will help me. I don't know what that team is, but hopefully it's somebody.
Yeah.
and we can break that barrier. But I've heard it through the grapevine. Oh, you're not getting the media pass because you're doing this. But I was like, oh, I don't have time for that. Anyway, sorry, I went off on a little rant. My point was to all of that is that you never know.
That's right.
And so I think that's great advice. All the artists, I hope you're hearing that. And I heard, and this is me, don't worry about the makeup. Don't worry about that. Sometimes just put it out there. Would you agree?
Always.
Just put it out.
Because it's always the ones, it never fails. It's the ones that, even when I post, it's the ones that I'm like, oh, I haven't posted today. Or, you know, and it's the, like, you didn't think anything about it, and you took 2 seconds to think about it, and you throw it up there, and you're like, how did...
Oh, and the ones I'm like, this is going to go.
Sure.
This is so good. And it's like, no, it didn't go.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. And so now, and can I throw this out there as well? I've learned as a creator, because I realize I guess I am one of those now, is like, no expectations.
That's right.
Literally put it out because you want to, because it says something, because it shows who you are. And then I literally do like a little, not prayer, but like, okay, God, take this to wherever it's supposed to be. Like, universe, take this wherever it's supposed to be. And I don't have any expectations. And actually Shelly helped me with that too, is like, just put it out and then don't look at your phone for like a couple hours. Like, move on, go about your life, you know?
Yeah, because it can consume you.
It can.
And it can consume all of us, you know, and it has clearly, just even based off of, you know, daily rates and view rates and, you know, so it's so important to have those boundaries, or to have that, like, you know, no expectation, or, you know, and it's different in music in a sense, because they are, you know, they're making a song and getting that out there, and but I have to remind myself of that when I'm like, this one should go, this song should go, like, this is the hit, you know.
I know.
And it doesn't, but I think I try and remind them. And funny enough, I actually saw this, like, Lizzo had posted about this, and Truth Hurts didn't take off until 2 to 3 years after release. And so it's always reminding the artists of, like, you never know. Like, it may not be right now, but it could be in 10 years.
I'm waiting for my call. Whisper by Ernie Halter. I'm just throwing it out there. Fighter by Annie Bosco. Just throwing it out there. Hey, I'm ready for it. I heard The House That Built Me was like 6 years.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like, crazy. And I'm sure there's just so many songs that, you know, have the same story. And that's the other thing. That even I learned when I moved to Nashville. This is not about me, but like, I remember going there with no expectations as well. I just want to go there. I want to find my tribe. I want to, like, it's that having goals, but also it's a fine line. You want to have goals, but you also want to be like, where it doesn't define you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's so interesting, because I was, in my career, I had such like a death grip on my career of trying to control it, and going of like, this is where I want to be, and this is what I want to do, and I'm going to be CEO of a record label one day, and all of these things that I was like, had such a death grip. And the irony of the whole thing is that was January of 2024, and I thought I could walk away today. I don't want to, but I could walk away today and be fulfilled, and I could be happy and find my next thing. And it was as soon as I let that go, of having that, like, just grip on, then that was the year that changed my life.
Well, and that's a perfect segue to tell me where you are right now.
Yeah, so I left Empire in May of this year, and it was probably one of the scariest decisions. It was, and really tough. You know, I had to leave a lot, like the artists that I had signed there, and
everything you built,
and everything that I built. Yeah. And so, and was able to be a part of. But there had just been, you know, the end of the year prior, I just started having this, like, you know, feeling inside that I thought, I want to do something different. I want to do something, and I wanted to have skin in the game, and I wanted to have my own company, and you know,
badass.
And so I sort of started like planning it, and was just brainstorming, just thinking about it, and really it boiled down to, and it came down to that I thought, man, I'm looking these artists in the face every day, and I'm like, be raw, be vulnerable, chase your dreams, live on the edge. It's almost like I'm pushing them to this ledge of like vulnerability and also chasing your dreams. And I was looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. And so I started to feel like such a hypocrite. And I thought, well, if I'm not doing that, nobody's going to do that for me, like on my behalf for me. And so I was like, what if I took the care that I take with the artists that I get to work with? What if I took that much care into what my career was and what that looked like? It also super helpful that it worked out that I was sort of at the top, you know, and like had all the success. And I thought,
you're like, I'm gonna go start my own thing.
Yeah.
Let's go, as you should.
Yeah, so
what
I was like,
another let's go.
I make the joke, I'm like, I'm either a glutton for punishment or just like, you know, love to have the foresight that, because I'm always thinking 2 years ahead within the business, like, and I'm like, where do I think the business is going, and how can I be of service to that, and how can I like make the most of that?
So now you are your own boss.
Not my own boss.
I'm not going to tell you the advice I got many, many years ago from the manager of In Vogue. We're taking it back, but I'm excited to see where you're going to go, where you're going to take this.
Yeah.
Then I was thinking about the In Vogue because he's talking to me. He was like, man, managing 3 girls in one band, that's a whole thing. Do you have 3 women yet?
Oh yeah. So not management. So launched label. So Casual Media Partners, I launched it with different verticals. Adding sports has been really important to me to do that. I think sports and music tie in just so effortlessly, right? And so that is sort of like hopefully year 2 of adding to that of what that looks like. But for me, it's like I wanted to get back in the athlete world and parlay a business that brought in something so naturally, right? And so because there's always music in sports, there's always anthems, there's always, you know, and every athlete loves, you know, has
good
a playlist
music.
and the artists need sports and athletes to promote and to be a part of and to partner on. And so it just, when I was again brainstorming of what this looks like, adding sports to that was really important, whether that's having athletes as part of the record label side, or, you know, there's a lot of
Dude, would you have signed Deion Sanders? Do you know he has a record? Do you remember back in the day?
Oh, a long time ago.
Remember? You could sign Deion. I know. I have a friend of a friend. I'm just saying he might still want a record deal.
There's still time. I mean, look, you never know.
What is it? It ain't about the money.
I take every meeting. I take every meeting because you never know.
You never know.
And so I take every meeting and I listen to thousands and thousands of records a day and so much music just because you never know. And so, and then so I manage Skylar Gray and I manage a producer songwriter. And
I love that song. I have to say, I've been listening.
Which one?
I called it the song of the week this week was Sober.
Oh, so that's one of those. It's perfect timing. She wrote that over 10 years ago.
See?
Yeah.
Is she sober?
No, but when she wrote it, the concept of the song is when she fell in love. Yeah, it's like you make me. I
love that.
Yeah, it's such a great record when I first heard it. And so that's been so fun to you know, join forces with her.
And it's not about sobriety, by the way, but because I'm sober and because I love love. I'm just saying.
That's right.
I love love, right? It just is like, I want to feel that way.
Yeah.
Like I'm just feeling like single Monica, by the way. I'm just throwing it out there. But that song is just fire.
It's so good.
It's so good. I'm excited for you. I would love to come see her. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so I'm really excited to see where your career is going. I have no doubt that you're going to be amazingly successful. I can't wait for your next artist, whatever that. I mean, you have Skylar Gray now. So
Skylar Gray on the management side and Dylan Ruda on the producer songwriter side, and then record label side. So I have been super lucky to partner with some really great people. Some of my business partners like Jenna Andrews and Stephen Kirk. We had songs on the Netflix show Hitmakers, and they have 2 songs on K-pop Demon Hunters, and so they've been amazing partners. And we have some artists that we're developing, and then I've got I probably have. I mean, I launched with 50 releases this year coming out on my record label. So
amazing.
Yeah, it's been, you know, it's one of those things. I'm in the grind and I know what that feels like, and so it's sort of once you find a rhythm, and for me, it's very much about finding a rhythm just in life in general and a balance. And I have to work really hard at that because I could be in it.
Well, I saw you slamming some golf balls off this beautiful cliff yesterday. I was like, that looked hot, by the way. That's a good look. I'm just saying it's kind of sexy.
I was waiting for it to go viral and it hasn't.
Okay,
so
well,
I was a little mad because I was like, if one's gonna go viral, it should be this one.
No, I tried to help it because I liked it. I comment. I'm like,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. We have a segment called What the Helly.
Okay.
And I thought it only makes sense that it's going to be Shaboozey has an anthem for the football Thursday night game. What the Helly?
It's wild.
What?
I mean, it's amazing. You know, it's just, again, it ties into the worlds that I want to bring and be a part of and be together. And it's like, absolutely, you know? And so he's incredible.
So amazing.
Yeah.
So amazing. Well, I know you're so busy. You're not, you watch football, you watch sports, but you're busy.
I know.
You're busy.
I know.
So I'm not going to ask you some of the crazy things that's going on, but I thought it might be.
You can. I just don't know that I'll have a great answer for
No, it's
it.
okay. So if you don't mind, I'd love to do a helmet game.
Let's do it.
Can we do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the game is
so.
really easy. You're just going to pick a helmet.
Okay.
And then just tell me anything that comes to your mind. We'll do like 2, okay? Okay.
I'm not going to cheat.
No cheat.
Oh, well, funny enough, my school colors growing up.
Tell them who it is.
So it's Pittsburgh Steelers.
The fact that she knew that.
Come on!
No, but some people don't know that. So I'm just like, yes, she knows that the team.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't name you one player right now that is on the Steelers.
Okay.
But because that was my high school colors growing up.
Okay.
There's always been an affinity there. But I don't know that I have anything because I have no idea what's going on with them, which is maybe the problem. They need to be a little bit noisier.
There you go.
You know?
Well, I can help you.
Okay.
So Aaron Rodgers is now their quarterback.
Okay.
Did
not know that. It's so wild. Okay, that took a turn. There. Wasn't anticipating that.
No,
but
no, that's okay. And he's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have to say.
That's true.
That's true. He's a lot.
That announcement alone is
good, right?
Astonishing a little bit.
Okay, let's try one more. Let's see what we got. Now you know that this is.
I know.
You never know.
Please.
You never know.
Oh, even worse. I need another one. Listen,
I
need another one.
Okay, that was Minnesota Vikings.
I know who they all are. Okay.
This is
Bengals. I know who they all are, if that helps.
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
I'm never going to get asked back on this podcast because
I love you. This is great because this is good for the newbies. They need to know that, not everybody knows.
Yeah, you don't have to know either.
Last one. Let's see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's of course. So we have to end on this one.
Yes.
Even though I don't know very much about them.
That's okay.
But because they're in Texas.
Houston, Texans.
Of course.
Yeah. All you need to know is that you care more for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, well, the Texans weren't, when I was growing up, they weren't a thing.
Well, they were an expansion team.
Yeah.
So, they weren't around probably.
So, they came around a lot later in my life.
In your world.
Yeah, that I was just like, okay.
But you did good because at least you knew who these people were.
I know all of the team names.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
That's right.
That's all you need to know.
Right.
I think you did great. Let's give it to her for What the Helly. Now, the easy one.
Thank you.
The easy one as we wrap up. We always like to ask our guest, because you're a basketball, you're an athlete. I call it Who's Got Next? Ooh. Who's got next? So is there somebody that you know that you think might be a good fit to sit in the same chair that you're sitting in, talk a little life with me, talk a little football, check some helmets out, all the things? Is there anybody that you think?
Ooh.
I know. I always wait to ask you on camera.
Yeah.
Because that way you can't
spot.
think about. Yeah. Shelly was like, "Are you serious? Put me on the spot." I'm like, "Yeah." It's okay. Because I want it organic.
Yeah. Do they need to be an athlete or just anybody?
Anybody.
I mean, I would say my buddy Nick, who's learning all the Bad Bunny, songs for the Super Bowl.
Oh.
And so he might be a great personality to
step to the front. Let's talk some Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
And we didn't know this because I follow him,
Just
and
crazy.
He's learning the Bad Bunny in time for halftime. and I'm digging his video. Now, those videos are going crazy.
They're
by the
going
way.
crazy. Yeah, they're absolutely going crazy.
Nick.
Yeah, I had no idea. You know, I saw one. I'm like, oh my god, that's so
And
funny.
he's
and so
learning.
good.
So we could tie that in.
There you go.
Nick, step to the front, my friend. Let's go.
There you go, buddy.
Oh my God. Is
Yeah.
there anything else that you want to talk about, promote, tell everybody about? I mean, Casual Media Partners.
Yep.
You're signing artists.
Signing artists.
Is it just country?
No. In fact, I'm about 50-50 of country and pop right now.
Okay.
I'm not even looking for, like, I don't take the approach of I look for a genre. Obviously on like my A&R ears and what I know best
Right.
is from country to singer-songwriter to pop. And so I think with where music is going, I don't have to, you know, be bound by a genre to sign, but I always listen to music. I get sent a lot of music, but I listen to everything because I'm always looking for, you know, the next
thing.
And
The
so
next thing.
I'm a big, you know, I love music. And
Right.
so I love sort of where it ebbs and flows. I love how it takes you on the journey of life that it does. And it's been a big part of my life. And again, it's, you know, so yeah, I'm always looking for artists to sign. I'm always looking for teams to work with. And
Our DMs might go crazy after this.
I mean, they might.
Okay, all right. We'll see what happens.
I mean, look, I listen to all of it. So
I love it. And that's
you
awesome.
never know. You never know.
That's amazing that you still listen, because sometimes I think artists, they just want a chance.
Yeah.
You know, they just want a chance.
Yep.
And if you listen, that's a chance.
Yep.
That's how I
You may
look
not
at it.
hear from me
Right.
after I listen, but that's also not bad news, you know. And I have to tell artists that all the time too. Of I will listen, and I may not always get back to you, or I may not
Right
always
away.
get back immediately,
Yeah.
or have an opinion, because sometimes I have to live with them too.
Yeah.
I will always have I'm opinionated in and of itself, and so
Uh-huh.
I will always have a first gut. And there are songs that stand out from the jump. Like
Right.
I feel like one of my superpowers is like I know a hit song when I hear one.
Right.
I may not always call that it's a hit and it ends up being a hit, but every time I've said it's a hit, it's a hit. And so for me, it's like, all right. So I
Well,
listen for those.
I have about 30 demos right now from the 90s that I'm going to play, Heather,
Yeah,
when
there
we
you
get off
go.
this podcast.
That should be
my
the
God,
outtake
it's
song,
funny.
so
Let's go.
We'll pick
Oh
it.
my God. Well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. This was
No,
so
you're
much
amazing.
fun. I love talking
I
all
love
the
this.
things with you. This
Congrats
is
on everything.
Oh,
This is,
thank you.
I'm more than happy. I told you off camera, but I don't feel deserving to be here because I, have been a little busy lately, but in the music world. But for me, I'll talk sports all day long.
Oh, sports and music. You're welcome on my podcast anytime. Like those two things we're going to do. So make sure you follow Heather Vassar on all her social medias. Be on the lookout, because I have a feeling we're going to have the next big thing coming out of Casual Media Partners.
That's right.
And as always, keep it
sexy.
Let's go.
Football sexy, I'ma say it with my chest. Football sexy, I'ma rap, rap, rap.